I'd imagine by now most people obviously would know who this group is. But I feel like something has to be said. So today, you don't mind if I fanboy just a bit? Today we're going to be talking about why I think, as not only a fan of the group, but as a fan of music in general, I feel like Red Velvet is the premier Korean pop group right now. And I say this as a big fan of multiple other groups, but the two other major groups that I'm a humongous fan of are Blackpink and Twice. Both of them I would consider on the same level as Red Velvet in terms of my enjoyment of them. But in terms of three major things that Red Velvet are doing right now. One, ingenuity. Two, impact. And then three, influence. And I'm going to go through each of these and talk a little bit about why I think Red Velvet right now is like here and everyone else is just kind of like here. And let me just start off with saying that if you have not heard their newest release, which is their second full-length album, Perfect Velvet, I highly recommend that you give it a listen, because the lead single, Peekaboo, is not even the best song on the album. And in not only K-pop, but also a lot of other genres of music, albums' lead singles are usually the best song of the album. It just happens that way. That's why it's the lead single. But while I really do enjoy Peekaboo a lot, almost every single song on that album could have been a single. And that is really something that is difficult to pull off, not only just in K-pop, but music in general. To have every single song on a release be something that you could have released as a single is really just incredible. So, if you want to listen to other tracks on that album that I think are just as good or even better than the lead single, Peekaboo, I would say listen to I Just, and I would say listen to Attaboy. And if you want more of the Velvet side more than the Red side, because those songs are more of the Red side, if you want more of the Velvet side, then listen to Kingdom Come. That is a fantastic fucking song. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about my history with Red Velvet. I found them as they debuted in 2014. And Happiness, I did not like at first. I thought, oh, it's just a little there. But then now, I definitely like it. I definitely think it's a solid debut for a group. But in the 3 years that they've been a group, they have made a point of differentiating themselves from their peers. How do they do this? Well, the name Red Velvet is a thing in itself. The red side is the more poppy chart toppers, like Red Flavor or Ice Cream Cake. Those are like the definitive red side of the Red Velvet. And then the Velvet side is One of These Nights and Kingdom Come. These are songs that are much more R&B. They're not really pop at all. They're R&B songs, and they're very vocal based. A lot of people say K-pop singers, K-pop groups cannot sing. They don't have singing ability. To that, I say listen to Red Velvet, because they have probably one of the most powerhouse vocalists in all of K-pop. They have Wendy. Wendy has inhuman fucking vocal talent. And their Velvet side is just as good as the Red side. And a lot of people will like one or the other, but I think that both are equally what's the ingenuity? Innovative, something like that. And if you want K-pop groups that can sing, and I'm not saying there's not other groups that can sing. You know, off the top of my dome, Mamamoo, they can sing. Dreamcatcher, they can sing really well. G-Friend, they have a lot of vocal talent too. But I feel like of the upper, higher echelon, Red Velvet is the group that has the most singing talent. Oh, also EXID, I'm sorry. EXID has a shit ton of vocal talent. So, why do I feel like Red Velvet is kind of becoming like the face of the new wave of K-pop? Well, to put it honestly, they sell a shit ton of copies of their CDs, and they've been on the Billboard World Charts 5 times now. Rival only to BTS, and we all know that BTS is more or less a money-making machine than it is a group, just because of the amount of shit that they can sell and the tickets and all that kind of stuff. And they're more here in terms of popularity just because of how much of a media push they get. In Red Velvet, they don't really have a lot of media push. Off the top of my head, I can only think of one time they've ever been mentioned on American media, and that was when Bill Maher, who's a political pundit, he had them in a segment of people who would be better presidents than Donald Trump, and he said South Korean girl K-pop group, Red Velvet. And I thought that was pretty funny. But yes, only BTS has been on the Billboard Top 100 and topped it at number 1 more times. Actually, they share it 5 and 5 each. Only BTS. And I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of BTS at all. I don't really like the boy groups, to be honest. As you can probably see on my channel, there's not any sort of content that has to do with boy groups. I'm not well versed in it, honestly. But you have to be an idiot to not see that BTS is really fucking popular. And the fact that Red Velvet, a group that a lot of people just don't vibe with for the reason of they're just not straight cookie cutter sort of K-pop. Their music videos, I've shown their music videos to people who do not like K-pop, and they've always said the same thing. This is kind of weird. This is kind of artsy. This is kind of artistic. This is kind of avant-garde. And it's true. Think of it this way. Most of their major release comeback videos are just really fucking weird. Like, the latest one, Peekaboo, has them basically running a cult. Rookie, that's a very strange music video. Ice Cream Cake, these are things that are much more aesthetic. I hate that word, but aesthetic. I don't know what other word to say, than other K-pop groups. So if you want talent, and you want something that's a little more artistic than a lot of what you'll get in K-pop, then Red Velvet is your best bet, for sure. Because they are much more, them and SM, like, SM really gives a shit ton of, crazy ideas. And, they run with it because it suits them so well. And individually, each member, I know, obviously, there are almost every single K-pop group out there, every single member is as integral to the group as the rest. But, yeah, definitely Red Velvet is supposed to be all the members of Red Velvet together. That's for sure. And when you get that sort of click kind of thing, and with the talent, then you definitely have something big. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to sell you on the fact that you should listen to Red Velvet. That's all I'm trying to say. I think that in the next year or so, they're going to start becoming more popular in the West, just because of their chart success. I mean, after a while, if you start charting, if you keep topping the Billboard Top 100, eventually people from all around the world are going to start to take notice, and you're going to start having that same sort of success as you would expect. I mean BTS, the other group that has done the same thing as them on the charts. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, they were on the American Music Awards, Ellen, James Corden, they were all over TV. I honestly, especially with the fact that Wendy could speak fluent English because she was born in Korea, but then she lived in Canada for almost all of her life, can speak fluent English, 150,000% that within the next year, Red Velvet is going to be doing the same thing. And when they do, it's going to open up a whole new door for K-pop, because they're going to be a talented, artistic group that will have broken into the American or Western mainstream. And once they do that, then that's a big game changer, I would think. So, I mean, I know there are a lot of people that are anti-fans of Red Velvet, and you know what? You are allowed to have your own opinion. But I just think from a music fan standpoint, fuck genre names, all that kind of stuff. I'm a fan of music first. From a music standpoint, Red Velvet is definitely the most musically and artistically diverse and interesting group that there is now, or maybe ever. That's up for you to decide. But with that said, that was just a video of why I wanted to say just why I thought Red Velvet is doing tremendous things for K-pop right now, and they're doing it very, 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 very under the radar. But they're having a shit ton of chart success, and they're having a shit ton of success all around different sorts of things that you need to have success in if you want to be a successful music group. So with that said, again, I highly recommend that everybody, if you have not listened to it already, go out and listen to Perfect Velvet, give it a listen, maybe even buy it, because you got to support the artist, right? I think we sometimes forget that. And you know, keep an open mind to things. Keep an open mind to both the Red and the Velvet side. Because as much as I love the poppy side, I really do like the Velvet side too, which is the more subdued and just musical side. So, with that said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.